Well, the weather for the whole of the south of England will continue as it has for the next few weeks. It's going to be hot and moist, with temperatures rising steadily as time goes on. There's a chance of steamy moments as we move into the... sod it. We never wanted to do this. We never wanted to be weathermen and women making innuendos about hot atmospheres and drizzly countries. We didn't want to be child-friendly. We didn't want to bang on about being for over 18s only. We want to talk about our sexy adventures. We want to be lifestylers, leaping from bush to bush as we sail down the rivers of British sex clubs and mountains of crazy experiences. The cheeky purple mamba, the liquid silk pumped liberally into our hand, the rodeo classic brief harness complete with Tantus curve, the Enjoy Pure One stainless steel dildo, the hot octopus digit, the ever so short messages on Fabswingers, the sexy friends on Twitter, and the mighty vanilla alternative. With my best girlie by my side, we'd swing, swing, swing.
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice, you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well, 'cause it's bed hopping time.
Hello and welcome to episode 91 of the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name is Mr. H.
I'm Mrs. H.
Thank you for joining us again today. This one is a bit of a mixed bag, pick and mix bag.
Pick and mix. Can't have pick and mix in COVID.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, that'll do.
Can you have pick and mix in COVID times?
No, you can't put hands and paws going into like multiple boxes of sweets and then mishing them all around.
Really?
No, it just wouldn't work.
The funny thing about pick and mix that I remember from pick and mix as a child was that when we would go shopping, my dad would get pick and mix.
Yeah.
And he'd put all the bits that he wanted into the pick and mix. And then he'd eat them as he was walking around the shop. So that when it came to being weighed...
Before they got weighed?
Before they got weighed.
Wow.
You can imagine how bad this felt to me as
and
something
how good it felt to him.
Yeah. And so he'd weigh it and he was like, well, pick and mix isn't that expensive.
It's nick and mix.
Yeah, nick and mix. Anyway.
Nick the picks.
I don't think that's working quite as well. Sneaky fathers aside, we thought we'd update you on what's been going on in our lives because it's, as ever...
It's just all shit, really.
Yeah.
The end. Much love.
2020 shit. I think that's
It's pretty much a summary of 2020.
Well, that's it. And then I thought we'd talk a little bit about some of the media stuff that's been going on. Because that's been out in the press, out in talk shows, all sorts of stuff to do with the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Very, very prolific, much like COVID. And then I thought we'd do a little bit of we went on to Fabswingers and asked the forum what people would like us to talk about. So we've got a bit of a topic which is all about... if you're thinking about entering the lifestyle,
don't.
Don't.
Because you can't do fuck all.
Well, lots of people have been in touch. They were about to start being in the lifestyle and they were about to jump in or they were interested in doing it since the whole COVID thing started. So we've got some top tips to share. Really.
I've actually seen a plethora of messages from lovely would-be unicorns saying, oh, what a time to join my lifestyle. I thought about it and now I'm here. I can't do anything.
Yeah, I can't go any further. It's a terrible situation. It's awful. So what's been going on, Mrs. H? First things first. First? Well, I was going to say floor. First things floor.
Well, let's very briefly cover the floor because, frankly, it's boring.
The kitchen floor?
It's boring the tits off for me.
So it is now constantly being dehumidified.
It now has no floor, which is even better.
So we have like a concrete slab with pipes on it.
We literally have a building foundation.
We've gone for the derelict look.
It's absolutely derelict, your balls.
Yes, it is. What's quite bad is that occasionally I'll put water down for the dog there and overnight it just dehumidifies and evaporates. Bear in mind the dog's not staying down there, I should point that out.
Should we put like a series of rice cakes in there tonight and see what happens?
Well, the rice cakes would be more effective than the actual dehumidifiers because once you open one of those, all moisture in the nearest 3 miles gets sucked out.
Or anyone's mouth.
Yes. Yeah. You could chew one of those things for 6 hours and eventually it just solidifies like concrete drying.
I'm just going to place them around like landmines and see what happens.
The other thing I'm going to point out is that you may well hear Noodles, our kitten, slightly small psychopath that's running around the house,
tiny
crying out
ferret
in anguish during the course of this. That is because she is locked 2 rooms away from you.
Yeah.
And because you are symbiotically linked.
Correct.
This is a painful thing. But the other thing is that if we let her in the room, she would try and eat my microphone.
Everything.
So and everything. and I'm not having that again. Or she'd just destroy things. So she has locked a couple of doors down. So if you hear this plaintive mew coming from, also the title of my 5th studio album,
tiny raging mew.
Mew coming out from there, then, we can, that's what it is. It's not us. It's the cat who's being a shit. So your dad was poorly.
Oh, yeah. Poor dad. So he got pneumonia because, why not? Just add to all the fray. But he is starting to get better now, which is good.
Which is really good.
And it's better than getting COVID.
Well, it was, but we had to get him a COVID test.
We did.
And do that, and that had to be sent in the post because you can't walk him into a surgery.
That's all the stuff.
Because, 2020. And what else happened? The bar, the Hop Inn, got broken into.
Some absolute fuck nuggets broke into the bar.
Fuck nuggets.
Fuck nuggets. That's exactly what they were. They were fuck nuggets of the highest order.
Well, I don't think they were fuck nuggets of the highest order. To be fair,
the lowest order.
The lowest order, maybe. They did break in. They kind of waggled the lock free, frustratingly. But they only took some blue Caraco, or whatever the hell it is.
Balls.
Yeah,
it's called blue bowls.
Blue bowls, and some gingerbread rum.
Oh my God, what a horrific mix.
Bacon fries.
Oh, bastards.
Some plastic cups and some fun-sized cans.
So this sounds like just a merry band of would-be teens, vomitines.
Quite
going to
possibly.
Pass out under a bush somewhere.
Yeah, they also took my Bluetooth speaker, which really pissed me off.
Because they want sounds, isn't it?
They want sounds in it.
For their illicit party under a bush. Can only assume that's what they were doing.
Yeah, they didn't damage
something.
Well, they didn't damage it, and they just kind of left the gates open, really, and that was about. So it was more of a frustration. So anyway, we talked a bit about that on Twitter, and some very kind people, in fact, the Swing Fashions lot, the Swingers Help lot, and also Sharing is Caring, very kindly sent us some bottles of booze.
Goodness, what beautiful people.
So there we were, was it a Saturday night?
Yeah, if only they could come in the bar. Oh no, that sounds wrong. If
no
only
swimmers.
They could enter the bar in a COVID-free environment and sit and have a drink with us.
I know, right?
It'd be so nice.
Well, it would be. I mean, aside from the fact that some of them are in the States and some of them are fully locked down, probably in the middle of tier 3 death zone.
Oh, the tears.
So anyway, we want to say a huge thank you for everyone that reached out and everyone who was really lovely, especially those 3 groups of wonderful people. So we're able to stock up they didn't give us gingerbread rum, though I'm quite glad of that. And
yeah, I mean, truth be told, the gingerbread rum was a bit of a wild card anyway.
It was.
But the speaker, that was just a real kick in the balls, wasn't it?
The speaker was a kick in the balls. So now it's got, alarms, it's got multiple locks, it's, I've kitted it out. So we've managed to get things back on track, which was nice.
And at least the tiki bit was undisturbed.
Yeah, no one touched the Rick and Morty tiki glasses, or indeed the Gremlin one that I bought for myself, but you have also bought me apparently for Christmas.
Look, I ordered it before I knew about yours, and you do this every year. You end up buying yourself Christmas presents that I've already bought for you.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're not.
I mean, no, I'm not, because I get it now and then I get it later.
You'll get it later.
Throw this one on the floor like some sort of Greek wedding or something.
What sort of Greek weddings those Gremlins tiki mugs around?
I'm not sure.
Because I would love to go to that wedding. It just sounds like a hot mess.
Yeah, pretty much does. I think it would be quite an interesting one. The other thing that we wanted to mention was that coming up on Christmas Day...
Oh, of course. There is some kind of merriment. Merriment?
You can't even describe it, can you?
I don't know what it is.
I know you don't.
I'm not playing it because I can't do it.
Well, you will be. But
oh, no.
You will be. You will be.
Really?
At some point. We're not going to give away what the exact thing is. But
I'm certainly not, because I haven't got a clue.
One of the things that we feel really strongly about is, especially around Christmas and the holiday period, we don't want anyone to feel alone, or that they can't connect with people, or that Christmas is a tough time. So to do our bit for that and to help people who might be sat at home bored and want to connect to something within the lifestyle, we often produce a podcast or something around that time. So this time around, we'll be on YouTube and we'll do a little fun video for you to...
I shall prepare by having multiple baby shams. I will give you my finest performance.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Am I looking
I've
forward
got
to
no
that?
idea what you're expecting of me, but rest assured it will be fine and fueled by Baby sham.
Absolutely. But the other thing is
champagne.
Well, yeah, thank you. The other thing is that we brought along a bunch of special guests who are going to be sort of joining in this interactive thing that we're creating. So hopefully you'll be able to come along, and we'll also have pointers to some useful services that, where you can get help if you need it.
Cool.
So we're going to do that. So that kind of took a bit of a serious turn, I suppose. But in many ways, life has taken a serious turn. He says, doing his best radio handover. Yes. Much like COVID, and much like swingers, and much like being in the fucking media.
Well, this is really the elephant in the room, isn't it? This COVID that keeps on breathing down our necks.
Well, it does, but I'm really conscious that many other podcasters and show producers and media people and bloggers and all that sort of stuff have been talking about this, particularly over the last couple of weeks, because there was quite a big news feature in around Naughty in New Orleans where they went ahead and 41 people got COVID there. And
so they're deeming these things as super spreader events, really, aren't they? Because of the amount of infection that emerges off the back of apparently swingers not being able to keep it in their pants.
and I think, I can understand people where possible catching up with friends or having sort of, or really just keeping things very, very risk low. Mm-hmm. But going to events where there's lots of people that are going to be there, there's not much you can really do to prevent.
No, and I think what strikes me the most is, for some things we can't avoid seeing groups of people, for example, work. For example, if you've got to go to a work where your job is required or is a key work thing, and you have no choice but to mingle with people, albeit in a COVID secure environment, that's very different because it's an essential activity, isn't it? Whereas this is something you don't really need to do.
No, it really isn't. And I'm quite surprised at the amount of people that are out going to large events. Now, I know, and I'm not foolish enough to think that it's different in different parts of the world. I know that in certain countries, things are starting to ease up and things are very much on the up and up. In the UK, we're fucked, I think.
Absolutely. With 35,000 cases today, we're definitely not in a great place.
No, and it doesn't seem to be sort of getting much better. And we think that over Christmas, where lockdown is eased for 5 days or whatever it is, the chances are I think we're going to see a massive spike in cases. Yeah. And actually January could be even more lockdown than December has been.
I would say it's inevitable. And that's just with people doing what they deem to be essential, such as seeing loved ones.
Yeah.
Not going to parties potentially, because that's going to be probably broken up by the law and what have you where they can.
Well, there's all sorts of sort of regulations around what you can and can't do in the different tiers that we've got in this country. And we know, that different places have different things, but I can't see it getting better in the immediate future. As pessimistic as that sounds, and I like to be an Optimus Prime, not a Negatron, but it really is a difficult time. And I think my worry is that through all of this stuff that's been going on in the media, all of these big parties that are happening and all these super spreader events, it's leaving a really bad taste about the lifestyle in general. Now, I know that as a community, we're not the only ones that are going out there and doing this stuff. Mm-hmm. I know this. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of teenagers that are sat down the park smoking weed every day, probably near you.
Well, we know there's people going out having liaisons with their friends and family because they want to. But again, like you say, we're not the only community of people doing it.
But what frustrates me is that every time these things happen, people look back and judge the community rather unfairly, that they're not able to keep their pants on. And for the most part, I think the people probably are behaving because they have to. But there's a number of people out there that are choosing to continue to play heavily with lots of groups. And it's just a recipe for disaster. And it kind of makes me a bit ashamed to be in this community in a way.
I agree. I mean, you only have to look on, certainly in the UK, we have Fabswingers, which is the kind of site that people use predominantly. And you only have to look at some of the statuses that appear where people are openly advertising for meets and seeking.
Well, we've had 4 messages in the last week with people saying, "Hey, I've got a free hotel tonight. Do you want to hook up?"
Oh my God.
There's a fucking pandemic on you.
Yeah, and we always go back and reply with, "There's a pandemic. Are you serious?" And then we report them, because why wouldn't you?
Well, Fab is quite good in that, and I don't know how much it does on the back of this, but you do have the facility to report people who are trying to organise meets.
Yeah, and they take down the profiles, and I think they do something, but clearly it's not enough to stop people trying altogether.
And it's so strange to see. But I guess, like anything, the lifestyle is a microcosm of real life everywhere, and there's always going to be bunches of people who are dickwads, and they're going to do whatever they like because that's how they see things. They're going to be selfish.
I agree, but equally, some of these people probably don't think they're just being stupid. I think they probably genuinely believe that maybe this is not the mass pandemic that the world is telling us. Maybe they truly think that this is just the flu, or it is not something that needs to be feared.
Well, and this is the thing, because we've all spoken to people who just don't believe that this exists, or don't want to know about it, or are just pissed off about being locked up. And people are starting to get to the end of the tether. So I understand why they're frustrated. But what I don't understand is why they're sort of going to huge parties. And, you know, I get a regular message from one of the party hosts in the UK, and they're still hosting parties. I'm like, what the fuck?
How? I don't know how they can do it. I don't know how they can live themselves.
It's bonkers. And honestly, I do get where people have been able to see people on a very low risk level and one-to-one meets or whatever. I can understand that happen because, you know, you can work your way through the bubbles and all that sort of stuff. So there's, I'm not suggesting that this is a complete and utter sort of let's remove ourselves from the situation. But at the same point, I can't understand why people are going to such high levels of risk and going to all these places. It's very, very frightening. What's really interesting is that you then have people who are sort of extreme lockups and very much not going to leave the house. And to a certain extent, you know, if that's what's required, that's what's a legal thing, or that's what the right thing to do is in your particular area, then I absolutely get that. But for some people, it's very much that they've shut themselves down and haven't been able to see loved ones for months on end. So it makes those that are going out and becoming super spreaders seem incredibly selfish with when they're going and what they're doing.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? I can't quite reconcile that people, even if you don't truly believe it and you don't truly think it's as bad as you think, surely you still want an end to all this. If you want,
we all love a good end.
If you want life to go back to normal, surely you will, even if you believe it or not, you'll do what it takes to try and get this moving to the end so that we can go back to normal, because it's not going to happen, is it?
No, and I think we've been thinking about events and stuff next year and looking at, when do we think this is going to end? Because, at the moment, I wouldn't want to put any money down on such.
Me neither.
Because it just seems to be that it could go on for ages. And yes, we've got the vaccine in the UK, which is great news. That's starting to roll out. but the reality is that that's going to take months and months and months to get to people who aren't so vulnerable.
That's really interesting, the vaccine. So I know a few people have had it, which is amazing. And they've given nothing but positive reports. They haven't grown 3 arms. They haven't grown an extra penis.
What?
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Did you want to grow an extra penis?
It would be handy.
Okay, cool.
Well, not literally.
Well, let's hope that's the side effect you get. The point is that it's been largely positive, but I have seen people I know now who've had it because they've been lucky enough to be in that first kind of group of people who need it quickly. And that's all good. And there's a little tracker going around at the moment where you can calculate how many people are in front of you in the queue to get the vaccine and when your anticipated vaccine date is likely to be.
Oh, really?
It's amazing. So I plugged all my data in today, and it takes into account like 9 pivot points of kind of clinical evaluations. So things like your age, whether you've got any predisposed kind of underlying conditions, like all the stuff that you would expect them to be taken into account. Anyway, then it tracks how many people are in front of you in the queue. And my expected vaccination date is between the 26th of June and the 15th of September.
Okay.
Next year.
That's kind of where my head was at. Yeah? I was thinking sort of June, July time next year.
So
at the very earliest.
That's the kind of ballpark figure we're looking at in terms of when we can expect to be given something that gives us a level of normality again.
So I'm imagining in my head it's like one big great deli counter. It's like number 2,732, please.
But
come in.
Then I plugged my dad's data in, and his popped up at 29th of December to the 15th of January.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So that's the kind of where they're working in terms of the list they're working through and how soon you can expect to get your call.
I like to think they're just going to drive up and down streets like the arcade game Paperboy.
With a T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, like... Fum, 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 fum.
You know what? I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I really want something that will give us normality again. And I want people to have their lives saved. So I'm up for that.
Well, I think, for one thing, it's kind of a selfless act in many ways to have the vaccine, I find, because you're kind of helping everybody else as well as yourself. Maybe not quite so selfless, but it's a really important thing to do from my perspective, because, you can protect your loved ones better. And I'm just stunned, though, because looking at the media and the amount of anti-vaxxers that are already coming out of the woodwork and all this kind of stuff. So I guess what I really wanted to say on the show more than anything else is that I think it's just really important to think about not only your own safety, but also the safety of everybody else, but also think about the impact to not only just your local community, but the community of swingers. Now, I know a lot of people have said recently they're not part of that community, that they don't feel that it's something they're in. But I guess if you partake of those actions, then you're kind of in that community as a sort of group. And what I hope is that actually people start to see that the wants and the good selfless behaviour of the many really strongly outweighs the shitty behaviour that we've seen of the few. But Optimus Prime, not a negatron. So,
Hey, stay positive, be negative.
Well, yeah, exactly. Something like that.
Get on a t-shirt.
Maybe. We'll see. We need a few more t-shirts sold, so if you haven't bought a t-shirt yet, still time to get one before the vaccine arrives. So jump on and do it. But I'd be really interested in hearing your views. So write to bedhoppersuck@gmail.com about your take on the vaccine, whether you've been playing in large groups. Have you been sort of risk averse? What's your take on this? Because it's been fascinating hearing all these people talk about it. And you've seen some that clearly don't give a shit about going out and doing all this stuff, and others that are really, really ultra, we're not going outside ever again.
Yeah. But, equally, I'm interested in the opinion of those people who have decided to take that approach of, actually, I'm going to do what I want.
I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah. I'm quite intrigued as to what that thought process looks like.
Yeah. And
have I missed something? I don't know.
Well, I'd be amazed if we had. I think, it's one of those things where it's just that microcosm of normal life. I think it really is that. And I think, out of every 100 people, you're always going to get a few that just take a different approach, or are fed up with being told what to do, or don't believe it, or think that Bill Gates is going to put a microchip in the vaccine and they're sat wearing their tinfoil hats. And, fair play. That's what you believe,
Isn't there some meme going around about there being like a YouTube track in the vaccine or something rather than like a microchip?
Yeah, you don't get a microchip. You get installed with a U2 album. That would be even worse than the microchip, quite frankly.
You wouldn't have it.
Yeah, but it's been interesting because since this whole COVID thing started, we've had lots and lots of new people get in touch with us. That say they were just about starting their journey into the lifestyle. They're looking forward to dipping their toes in, building up their courage. They'd signed on to Fabswingers or their local site, and then life
came along.
Yeah, life found a way, not in the good way. Jeff Goldblum, we blame you for this.
Don't blame Jeff for COVID.
Oh, we're on first name terms now, are we?
Me and Jeff.
Jeff. You and Jeff. Jeffy, Jeff. So we've had tons of people get in touch about what do they do at this point, because they've been on the site, they've kind of been looking around, but they're not sure. They don't want to play. They don't feel as though it's safe to do that just yet. But they want to applaud that. Yeah, very well done. But they kind of want to be ready for when the gates do open, the floodgates.
I have visions now of some gates actually opening. With swingers this way.
It's going to be like Prince Ali in Aladdin. Make way. Hey, you bang the drums. Look out. Here he comes. You're going to love this guy. It's going to be like that. That's how I'm imagining it.
Yeah.
So we've pulled together our 7 top tips, or top 7 tips, to help you, new person, get ready for when the gates open.
The gates.
Those pearly gates.
No, they're not pearly gates. That's
really?
something quite different.
Oh, okay. Just other sorts of gates?
That would imply you're dead.
Oh, that's true. It would, I suppose.
I'm hoping for like Hades to open his gates instead, and we'll go down to Party Central.
Party Central and Hades.
Yeah, Hades will be there.
Is this going to be another one of your clubs?
Whipping people.
Whipping.
There'll be a real cool bar there called the Crime Scene.
Oh dear, no, there fucking won't. There fucking won't be a crime scene bar.
And a cocktail called the Hades.
The hot as hell. Anyway.
I thought you said the Otter's Tail.
Why would it be the Otter's Tail?
I don't know.
It's not even the Otter's Pocket.
Oh my goodness, I've got a whole list of cocktails now in my head ready to go.
Really?
The Otter's Pocket.
If only you had a bar which you could make them in.
And if only I knew people who could make cocktails.
I know, right? Tough times, isn't it?
I know.
Right, so our top 7 tips. Right.
Always have an Otter's Pocket.
Right. What you're going to do, wife, is you're going to read out the number
Sorry, what now?
of the tip.
Well, that's
And
not very difficult, is it? 1.
Fucking hell. What happened to all the style and panache of number 1?
Why would I do that? I am not a natural showman.
Number
person.
1, innit?
Woman.
All right, fine. Number 1.
Well, you do your numbers then with your echoes.
Okay, all right. Well, so you're going to read the titles, are you?
No.
You can't see
I can't
them
read your writing. Number 1, the Otter's Pocket.
Number 1, talk it through.
Okay. Much better.
Much better. So I think using this time to talk it through with your partner, assuming you have a partner, or your friends if you don't, talk through what you want out of this. Use it to take those fun little test things like the Kinsey scale to find out what you're into, or the kink tests to find out what sort of kinks you might be interested in, or what sort of play you might like. Because the more you talk about things, the better off you'll be, I think. And the more you work through some of those scenarios, it's going to really help you.
Yeah, and plus, what else can you do? Talk.
Well, you can talk and you can make that into a fantasy. Then you can get all sexy and then fuck each other.
All right, Austin Powers.
What? What was
you can
that?
get all sexy.
You can get all sexy, yeah. Well, it's nice getting all sexy and having a good sexy chat.
I agree.
We did that today.
I know.
We had a sexy chat.
We did have a sexy chat.
And you got me all excited and then I came in your mouth.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, I enjoyed it.
I'd be surprised if you didn't. Do you have to think what you were thinking of to get there?
I faked it. I faked it all the way.
I knew it. God.
Good. That's taken a strange toll. So anyway, number 1, talk it through while you can.
Can we also have a cocktail at the crime scene in Hades Bar called the Protein Shot? Asking for a friend.
Yes, we can.
5 friends.
5 friends.
Because I can only have 6 people.
Okay, all right, fine. I don't know why Hades would limit the number of...
Because he's evil and it's in hell, so why wouldn't he limit things and make it difficult?
Okay.
And that's why he would have a cocktail called the Protein Shot.
Would one of these
so
hell-based
it's literally like someone
conditions
coming in your mouth.
would be that you're always almost about to come, but you never actually do?
That'd be called the Edger.
I love it. Taking it to the edge, please, my good man.
Oh my God, it would be called the Edge of Heaven, wouldn't it?
Oh, good grief. All right, moving on. Number 2.
I am really into this now.
Yeah,
I'm going to... Right, anyway.
Yeah, you're not derailing me. Do some research, you lazy bugger. Go on, do some.
What kind of research?
Well, you could listen to podcasts like this one.
Well, Lord help you if you listen to this.
Yeah, good luck. Well, it's fine. Well, there's lots of other podcasts.
Yeah, I know, but this one is really good.
I'm glad you think so.
I know.
Yeah, this one's taken a bit of a toll today, but don't worry. Yes. The other ones are equally as shitty.
Especially if we're on them.
What I would recommend is possibly going to somewhere like Swingers Help.
They have a really good list of all sorts of handy stuff.
A really good list of just stuff.
They just do lists of stuff,
well,
don't they?
They do lots of lists and lots of research, but they also have... Do. Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. But you can go on and find out all about the different podcasts that are out there. You can find out about the most popular sites in your area. You can find out about different source materials. So, and again, you can buy some books.
They do lists of films, like naughty films on Netflix.
Naughty films.
What you can watch to whet your appetite.
Whet your appetite. What sort of film? Name me a film.
Imama Tutambian. That's a really naughty film.
Is that a film?
And yes, of course it is. We've seen it.
Have we?
And then what's the other one? Love. Is it called Love or Lust? Love. I can't remember. Anyway.
Balls. That's what it was called.
Nymphomaniac.
Okay. That's a more...
Oh, it's a bit messed up.
It's a bit
I
depressing.
quite enjoy it.
Okay.
Last one, Triers.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
odd, very odd.
That's
But
wonderful. So anyway,
tons of good films out there that you can have a look at.
I think the important thing on this isn't just looking necessarily at films, but actually doing some research into how things work, so that you can kind of figure out how you want it to work for you, because everyone's lifestyle journey, what a phrase, but it's all different, and you make your own journey. But it's the more you know, the better off you are. Knowing is half the battle, according to G.I. Joe.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Number three.
Are you going to do this for all 7?
No. This isn't even an echo, but
I know,
I'm just
it's
doing
just
this.
you.
It's just me doing it, as if you couldn't tell.
I can.
All right. So number 3, why not use the time to build a fucking great, amazing profile on the dating websites?
I thought you were going to say like Lego or something.
Yeah, go build the Death Star in Lego, and then have a Millennium Falcon and round it off with a nice Secto one. Why not? Do that in Lego.
I really love Lego.
That'll release some frustration.
Can we build a Lego Swingers Club?
No, we cannot.
That would be really good.
No.
Then we could incorporate your weird pearly gates.
My weird pearly gates.
Your gates of swingdom.
The swinging gates. Yes. Well, go and use the time to build a great profile. So by that we mean inject plenty of your personality. Go and take some pictures of you two together, or just you if it's just you.
Well, now's your chance to take some really good pictures.
It's a
because
great
you've got
opportunity.
tons of time on your hands.
You've got all this nice spare time.
Yeah.
And you can go take the pictures. You can show some personality. They don't have to be nude, naughty pictures.
Just don't have any laundry in the background, because that's the right turn off.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how to take great pictures.
Just saying it again, because you can never say it too many times.
Well, that's the thing. But because you've done all your research and you know what you're after, your profile should be a little bit more to the money as to what you're looking for. That's the plan anyway. Right, number 4. Four. Why not attend some virtual events?
Yeah.
Now, we talked to Vicky from Townhouse just a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about how their club, along with a number of others in the UK, are hosting online events.
Yeah, and the virtual world is taking off, isn't it?
Yeah, which I think is a really good opportunity to get a flavour of the lifestyle in a slightly more safe environment.
In fact, I think it's a brilliant idea, because had those things been available before we started going to actual clubs, I think I might well have found those like a good stepping stone to go into a real one.
Hang on, this is so not true.
Yes, it is.
This is the least
totally
true thing you've ever
it's
said.
the most truest thing I've ever said ever.
Mrs. H, before we Zoom someone, we're talking to them on camera. Oh,
you
every single time.
Absolute scoundrel. I don't say things like that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Constantly. So if we've talked to you on
what
Zoom.
I always say is, can I please wear my pajamas?
And also, why is it so light? Why isn't it darker in here? I don't want people to see me.
Because you light up like a fucking beacon.
Yes.
For some reason, you have like illuminated lights everywhere, and I look like I've come out of a nightclub.
What
and
other
looked in
sort
a mirror.
of lights would I have?
Low lights.
No,
Like
do they not
mood
illuminate?
lighting. All right. You know when you come out of a nightclub, right, and you go into the bathroom and you think, oh, yeah, I'm looking fucking fit. Then you go in the mirrors and you think, oh, no, I don't. I look awful. I look like a ghost. That's how I look when you put your lights on.
It's not.
I literally look like I'm in an elevator with an awful mirror.
Well, you
Or a nightclub.
you just have a light on you. That's all it is. Anyway, attend a virtual event because it's a great opportunity to chat to like-minded people, find out more about the lifestyle, get a sense of how a club might work. Quite often, it's club owners running things, so it's a good chance to ask them questions about how they do things. And also, it can be a fun, sexy adventure.
I think it'd be really good. And I also think you should add to that, if you haven't already, and if it's not on one of your echo points, then you should Zoom people that you've got to know.
Number 5.
Is it actually number 5?
Virtual dates can be fun.
Did I guess one?
Right. Okay.
That would have been a tip anyway.
No. Because
Yes,
I took you through this list
but I didn't listen.
half an hour ago or so.
But I didn't listen. I was playing with the cat.
For fuck's sake. There's only so much I can do. Like horse, water, drink, motherfucker.
I was playing with the cat. I may have missed that.
Anyway, so much like going to virtual events, a virtual date where you Zoom someone, Skype them, FaceTime,
I mean, it must have been a really good tip
WhatsApp.
because I thought of it as well as you writing it down. So if you both thought of the same tip.
Was it like subliminal messaging? It just kind of silently went in your ear. I didn't hear nothing. For some reason, I got all these great ideas. So yeah, it's a really good opportunity to meet other people, find out whether you like them. But if they've got experience and you are new, it's a great way of asking people about what's going on, how do they do it, learn from them, and get to know about their personalities and what the lifestyle might be like.
Yeah. You can have a really fun virtual date.
Yeah, we've had some really fun ones.
And the good news is you get absolutely twatted and no one really notices because you don't have to get up and walk around.
I think they do notice.
No, I don't.
They really do
Seamless.
notice.
I've always pulled it off.
Yeah, normally under the camera. But that's the other thing, that sometimes these virtual dates can lead to sexy times if you wanted to. And if you're all in agreement, that's fun.
They can.
We've played the game of lifestyle. Yeah, States of Undress. Played the game of lifestyle. The question cards are really good fun just to thrash it out online. It's a good time. But also there's sort of things like remote control underwear and dildos and toys and all that sort of stuff. And
Whiz bang monkey.
Whiz bang monkey. Dildos. God, I'm drunk all the time. Whoa. Anyways, it's really fun to experiment with some of that stuff. And it feels a lot safer because you're in the comfort of your own house.
That's exactly what I meant.
But if you do have kids, make sure that you lock the door because you don't want the kids wandering in halfway through.
Well, not if you're putting a remote control dildo at your bum.
Or just a remote control. If you've run out of dildos, just use the remote. Number 6.
Echo's still there then.
It is.
You can edit out.
No, I'm not editing that out.
What is number 6?
Number 6 is get fighting fit. Use the time to exercise, be the best you can be, get some great outfits, but also get your mental health in a good place as much as you can. Now, I know that COVID has really, really made it difficult for everyone to be of right mind all the time. It's hard. Physically. But it can be an opportunity, if you look at it in the right way, to work on some of those things.
I wish I was more like you. Because
what, short and hairy?
I have not achieved any of those things. In fact, I have embraced the COVID timber.
Tinder?
COVID Tinder would be quite a different site.
It'd be like you swipe and connect with someone, but you never actually leave the sofa because you're too fucking lazy to do it. I think that's how it works.
The COVID timber.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so it's really easy to get in a rut and eat all the carbs.
Well,
and think, I'm not going to meet anyone for ages, but just imagine how you're going to feel when you can, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not ready now.
And that's the thing. So I think, and I've known people that have been, and in work as well, that have been really keen to use this time to go on a daily run, exercise their pets, all that sort of stuff, and have been really good at doing that. And some people have read books and kind of looked at a lot of mindfulness and how they can help themselves. They've learned new things and new skills. You could read something like She Comes First or whatever and brush up on the old sex techniques in advance. Look at that. Sex techniques. That'd also be a drink.
We'll work on that. It's not going on my list.
3 pints of sex techniques, please.
Yeah, that's not on my list.
Okay, fine. But I do think that you can turn that sort of what is a negative thing into really positive and use it to sort of get yourself in the right space and the right frame of mind. And also, because you've done all your learning, because you're ready to go and you've got all of this knowledge behind you, you feel a lot more confident. So it's a really good way of, when the gates open, of stepping up and being the best you that you can be. I think that's a really useful thing. The final one, number 7.
You've got so much editing to do.
No, I have no editing to do whatsoever. This is going out as is. It's too close to both my birthday and Christmas. In fact, my birthday is 2 days after this comes out.
It is your birthday.
My birthday.
Yeah, very soon.
On the what?
On the 22nd.
Yeah, on the 22nd of what?
December.
Hooray!
Christmas birthday.
Do. Say it's my birthday.
All you want for Christmas is for someone to remember your December birthday.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, no Christmas wrapping paper for only my birthday
Do you know
presents,
what? When
please.
I first met you and you told me when your birthday was, that was the first question I think I asked you. Do you get like joint presents? And you were like, yes, don't ever give them to me.
No, that's right.
I can't believe that someone would actually give you a present wrapped in Christmas paper for your birthday.
Yeah, they would. A lot.
I didn't believe anyone would be that much of a dick to
Hang on. You have done this to me.
How dare you?
You have done this by mistake when you didn't realise.
Oh, by mistake.
Yeah, when it was. Yeah, but it was still Christmas.
But you
wrapping
always
paper.
get like extra presents.
Extra presents.
You even get some in January because they don't arrive in time.
Yeah, because your organisational skills are.
Because my organisational skills are excessively excellent.
Yes, let's go with that phrase. Anyway, my thought was that you can go and get yourself tested. So it's a really good time to...
Not on your birthday, though.
Maybe not on your birthday, no. My birthday is not necessarily a good time to go and get yourself tested, purely because the postal system, by the time they send out a kit and everything, it's not going to arrive until post-Christmas.
I bought a fridge on my birthday once.
I know.
Then we bought a dishwasher.
Yeah, and a TV.
Birthday. You could buy yourself an electrical good.
Well, this is fantastic, but that's not what this list is about.
Yes, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3
testing. Testing is something that often gets forgotten, particularly in the UK in regards to lifestyle. So it's a really important thing to do. We recommend doing it every 6 months, depending on how active you are in having sex with other people. If it's more frequent than that, then fucking hell, what are you doing? It's COVID. But generally speaking, it's a good opportunity now to kind of go, oh, we've got some time. Let's get tested and make sure that everything's A-okay.
Do you think in months to come, when things do open up, they'll add like COVID tests to their kind of litany of tests that you can produce in your kind of getting to know people?
Well, I think it's quite possible that being able to prove that you've had the COVID vaccine is going to be a requirement to getting into places, getting on flights, going to, I don't know, somewhere like Desire. I can very easily imagine.
Little tags, aren't they? Like little anklet tags. If you've got, if you've had a vaccine, it'll give you like the ID
think
number.
Of anklet things without hearing the voice of my nan going, prostitutes wear them. Can't wear anything on your ankles. Prostitutes wear them.
Well, I was thinking more in terms of, the tags that people get when they're out on,
like Ant-Man and
House Arrest
and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I think that there will probably be some requirement to prove that you've had the vaccine before you go places.
Absolutely.
Especially flying, traveling, all that sort of stuff. However, if that means that it is safe or safer for you to travel, then I'm fine with that. That makes sense. And it also means that if it hampers the people who are refusing to get vaccinated, then fuck them. Quite frankly.
Or don't because they haven't got a house arrest tag on their ankles.
House arrest on their ankles. Okay, thank you for that tip. But being tested is so important. And in the UK, you can often get free tests, and it's just a little prick on your finger, some blood testing, and all sorts of bits like that. And it's a package they send out to you. It's all very simple, very easy. And
really quick.
And you get the results back by text normally. And it's really worth doing it. Plus, for your own conscience, it's good. Although I'm always slightly worried, even when we hadn't entered the lifestyle and we got tested, I was still panicking over the fact that I was being tested. It's like being pulled over by a police officer when you've done nothing wrong.
Oh my God, I shit myself whenever I get pulled over by police.
And that's normally because you've driven through 7 red lights.
I'm terrified of a lawsuit.
In fact, I remember you jumped 3 red lights. And
lies.
And this is very true. And
absolute lies.
Terrible bit of driving. I think you were in a Daewoo at that time, which was like a dustbin. And this policeman drove up on a motorbike and got off, and he was all in his leathers and all that sort of stuff. And literally, you wound your window down and started crying.
I literally bawled in his face.
And you still had to do a speed awareness course. He was like, and he said, you're going to be fine on the first one. That was okay. When you did the second one, I tried to catch up, but you sped through a 3rd light.
Who the fuck speeds in a day? Honestly, you're making us up.
This is all absolutely true.
No, anyway.
And what amazed me is that, you had to go on a speed awareness course that say that you couldn't go over certain miles an hour in certain zones, but the physicality of your car doing that was almost impossible.
I think I was quite impressed. Really? My day went that fast? Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't so much the speed, it was the going through the lights that were just changing and then going through another one. I went, that was a bit, and then you went through another one and it was woo!
And then it was I didn't mean to do it.
Wow, I've learned my lessons since then.
Of course you have. Now you just look out to see if the police are around before you go through the red lights. It's a terrible, terrible
Hey,
situation.
you've been on a speed awareness course.
Yeah, that's true. Although when they pulled me over for my speed awareness course, I was on my way to my nan's funeral.
Oh my God, you were as
And
well.
they're like, why are you speeding? And I'm like, I was just trying to get to my nan's funeral. And they're like, yeah, pull another one. Yeah.
We're like,
no,
genuinely on our way to a funeral.
Yeah, exactly that.
You should have got me order a service out of the glove compartment.
I love the way that we've spent the last like half an hour whatever talking about being risk aware and all this sort of stuff. And there we are. Yeah, we've driven through. Yeah, speeding fines, but which is not good. It's not cool speeding. And since the point of,
but we haven't got any STIs or COVID.
No,
so
that's because no one can catch us too fast. So yeah, that was not cool. Yeah, we wouldn't recommend it. And the speeding course was very sort of. I learned a lot doing the speeding course.
Really,
I did lead
because you still really drive fast everywhere.
Maybe.
Yeah, you do.
Not fast.
Faster.
No, I'm not faster, but I'll at least slow down for where I think there might be police cameras and police people.
Brilliant!
Following
You've
me.
learned so much.
I have.
So proud.
Yeah, I've adapted. I've assimilated their technology and adapted to it. So I think that's our top tips for
don't drive fast.
Don't drive fast. So in summary, they are: talk it through, do some research, build a great online profile, attend virtual events, have virtual dates because they can be fun, get fighting fit, and get tested. So those are our top tips for anyone that's looking to get started or just started in the lifestyle and sort of waiting for COVID to be over. Get all those things in order because it's a really good time to do all of that fabmin, as we sometimes call it, and get ready for when the good times can be on your doorstep again.
Oh,
because
that makes me think of good times are going to happen one day.
Yeah, once we finish recording, we're going to have some good times.
Oh,
I'm going to play some Fortnite. You're going to play some Animal Crossing.
Oh my God, I'm going to build a snowman.
Oh, really?
In Animal Crossing.
Anyway, let's move. If it's not Animal Crossing, it's talking about some ridiculous bar that you've made up in Hades. So it's always that fun time.
The crime scene.
The crime scene. So without further ado, anything else that we need to talk about, dear?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, look out for our Christmas Day thing on YouTube. If you want to get in touch with us, we're bedhopperssuck@gmail.com. Bedhopperssuck on Twitter. We're Bedhoppers on Fab, Bedhoppers on Double Date Nation. Anything else? Any other things?
Just Bedhoppers,
Instagram,
really.
Bedhoppers. There's some pictures of the pets.
Yeah.
And sometimes us.
Yeah, but no pictures of our dinner.
No. But sometimes there is, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and you posted a picture of your boobs quite recently.
I did.
You did?
That was on Twitter.
Yeah.
I meant Insta.
Oh, Insta.
Insta's for like dinner, isn't it?
For dinner, innit?
When you take fancy pictures of your food.
Maybe. Okay. Well, on that sterling reference, moving swiftly onwards,
yes.
This is awkward. Kind of. Right,
no, it's all good.
Do your thing.
All right. Thank you for hopping into our bed.
So for this little end bit, the bit at the end where it all goes quiet and we talk, I've got some things for you here. Now, I noticed the other day you did a couple of impressions.
What? No, I didn't.
Yeah,
then.
so I've got a couple of impressions for you to do as we close the end of the show.
I don't do impressions.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't.
Yes, you do. And you've got to do. Yes, you've got to do. I'm not doing any. You're doing them. All right. You ready?
No.
So I'm going to give you the name, and you're going to do the impression.
How?
Well, you just do the voice. It's easy.
There's a voice.
Yeah. Well, it's an impression, isn't it? Right. The first one, Professor Snape.
How on earth can I do an impression of Professor Snape?
Let's just do it. Go on. You'll be fine.
I don't know how he sounds.
You do.
No, I don't.
You do.
When have I ever done an impression of Professor Snape?
You did one the other day.
What did I do?
I don't know, but I wrote it down.
Were you drinking?
No,
you were drinking,
no, I wasn't drinking. No, go on, Snape. Go on, Snape it up.
I don't know how.
He says Potter a lot, doesn't he?
No, I can't do it.
Go on, do it. You got to do it. Go on. This is it. You got to.
No,
I
can't. You do one for me.
No.
Please,
No.
but I like Snape.
You do it.
No, I don't know how to do a Snape
Go on.
impression. I don't have a
Alan
man's voice.
Rickman. Go on.
See, that's brilliant.
Go on, you do it.
That was me.
That wasn't you.
I don't have a dude's voice.
You can do it.
No, I can't.
You can do it. All right.
Move on.
All right, the next one. Arnold. Go on.
I didn't do an impression.
You did do an impression of Arnold.
I didn't. What did I say?
Come on, you can do it.
What did I say? Was it sort of like get to the chopper?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
get to
you
the
go
chopper.
out,
Go on.
I can't do it. I don't know how to do it.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Come on.
You're just making fun of me.
No, I'm not. You gotta do it.
No.
You gotta do it.
Here's to acres.
Okay. I think, you fudged that quote up. It's, you always wanted lots of land. Now here's 2 acres. Okay, all right, fine. So, Chewbacca.
No, absolutely not. Not fucking happening.
All right. An owl.
An owl. A superb owl?
Yes, a superb owl.
Okay. That was just for Bradford.
All right. Okay. You should be able to do this one.
I just did a brilliant one. What are you talking about?
There's more.
Oh.
Okay.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Oh.
Okay, this one is C-3PO.
Well, apparently that's what I do all the time, every day.
That was perfect.
Thanks. Nailed it.
Apparently that's what I do every single day. Oh, my.
You rusty bucket of bolts.
All right. Jareth, the Goblin King.
I am not doing that.
Yes.
Well, I do like to think about Jareth. Okay, let's think. What's one of my favourite things he says? Nothing, cha-la-la. That's great.
I love how all of your impressions are just you saying something.
I know. I don't actually have the voice. I just remember the things he says.
I don't actually have the voice. Come on.
So my labyrinth is a piece of cake. Well, let's see how you do with this little slice.
Your Jareth is more Obi-Wan Kenobi. Master, labyrinths, they have shield generators.
And cake.